he had created, he began to smile. You see, as he looked gathered to this town, everyone was being nice to each other. He looked to this side, and there was someone helping someone else chop firewood, and the Creator, he smiled. Looked to this side, and there was someone helping someone carry water. He smiled even bigger. Throughout the entire town, everyone was being nice to each other. And so he thought to himself, you know, I've given my children everything that they will ever need. But maybe there is something that they want. And so I will give them one wish. Whatever they wish for, no matter how absurd that request is, I will grant them that wish. And so he came down out of his home in the sky, and he sat down among his children, and everyone gathered around him. He said, my children, I've been watching you from my home in the sky, and I've noticed that each and every one of you have been nice to each other. And so I want to give you one wish. Whatever you wish for, I'm going to give you that wish. Everyone begin to think of all these wonderful wishes that, oh, maybe Creator will give me this. Maybe the Creator will give me this. And so the Creator, he said, those of you that want to wish, line up on this side. And so they all begin to line up. And one after another, they came in front of the Creator and they made their wish. Doye, the beaver. He came up and he said, oh, nothing, whenever I build my house, I build beautiful houses, but every time it rains and the waters flood, it washes my house down the stream, and I gotta start all over. I need some help. I need a new tool or something to help me build my home. The Creator said, Doye, close your eyes. And so he closed his eyes, and the Creator reached down and poof, and out of the smoke, the Creator gave the beaver a flat tail. So that now whenever you see the beaver using that flat tail, he will use it to pack the mud in his home. That no matter how strong the waters are as they come down, they will never wash his home away. The beaver, he was very proud of that, and still is to this day. Animal after animal continued to come, and soon became a very timid creature. As he came down, you could hear him sniffling around. And the Creator said, Yona, what's wrong with you? What can I do for you today? Well, you know, we were playing tag the other day, and I was running real fast to it, and somebody pushed me down. You should have called and told him turn it down. He said, the other day when we were playing, somebody pushed me down and I bumped my neck, and it really hurt. And I wish you could see who it was because I really want you to get on to them. And you're gonna wait. What is your wish? I don't know. Close your eyes. And so Yona stood there and he closed his eyes, and the Creator reached down and poofing out of the smoke. Everyone waited to see what was going to happen. And as the smoke cleared, there in the very midst stood this big old bear. Everyone said, oh my goodness, look how big he is. I'm not going to push him no more. And everyone waited to see what the bear was going to do. And he began to smile. And everyone began to smile with him. And all of a sudden, roar, the bear roared as loud as he could. And everyone scattered and took off running in all different directions. And the bear stood there, yeah, I like this. And he disappeared off into the woods, and today bear is one of the biggest creatures Creator has ever made. Animal after animal continued to come. And soon there came a very strange looking creature, at least at that time. Probably looked much like a squirrel does today. Short ears, short front back legs, and long bushy tail. He said, oh, Nephilim, no, I want 2 wishes if that's all right with you. The Creator said, Rabbit, why should I give you 2 wishes? Everyone has been satisfied with that one wish. Tell me, what is your problem today? Well, you see, when we're eating or we're drinking water and someone sneaks up behind us to eat us, we can't hear them until they're right there because we got these little bitty short ears. And then when we try to run away, we got these little bitty short legs and we can't run very fast, and they scoop us up and they eat us for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If you don't help us, we're going to disappear before the humans get here. Yes, you're right. And, okay, I will help you with your 2 wishes, but I can't poof you like I do everybody else. We're gonna have to try something different. Okay. Those of you that have received wishes, turn around and look that way. Those of you that are waiting on wishes, turn around and look that way. I don't want anyone to see what I'm gonna do to the rabbits. And so everyone turned around. The Creator reached down and picked the rabbit up and grabbed those little bitty short ears. He said, "Rabbit, are you ready?" Rabbit said, "Yes." And he yanked on those ears, and as they came stretching out, the rabbit began to scream and yell, "Ay, yo, ay, yo. Hey, I like these ears. I can hear somebody talking way down there. Can I go get onto them, please?" "No, rabbit, come here." "All right. But wait, I can hear somebody talking way down there, and I know who it is. Can I go to get onto them, please?" "Chicks do. Nulong, come here." As Rabbit was walking back, he noticed something was missing. He looked to this side and it was not there. He looked to this side and he couldn't find what he was looking for. He spun all the way around in a circle and, "Creator, I think you lost something." "Rabbit, what did I lose?" I think you lost my tail." "Turn around and look behind you." So the rabbit turned around and said, "Hey, I like that." You see, when Creators pull those ears up like that, that big old long bushy tail went shoot, and the only thing left was the tip of that tail. Oh, he was proud of that. The Creator reached down and grabbed the rabbit and grabbed those back legs, and he began to stretch, and he began to pull. As he was doing that, he was screaming and yelling and making all kinds of fuss. And someone down here, the owl, he couldn't stand not knowing what was going on behind him. You know, in our society today, we always give the owl credit for being wise, don't we? I mean, even as far as Winnie the Pooh gives him credit for being wise. I'm here to tell you that's a lie. The owl is just nosy. You see, he was standing there, and it was bothering him so bad that he said, I got to see what's going on, but I don't want to get in trouble." And so he found a loophole. He stood in one place and turned his head all the way around. When he turned his head around, he saw what was going on, and his eyes grew very large, and he said, "Oh my goodness, did you see that?" But nobody else turned around. The Creator put the rabbit down. He said, "No, no more wishes. Because the owl disobeyed me, his eyes will always stay big like that." And the Creator started to go into the heavens. Rabbit was standing there. He said, nothing. See, wait. Can you stretch my front legs before you leave, please?" He looked at the rabbits, and he looked at everyone there. He said, when everyone in this world can learn to be nice to each other again, I will go and I will stretch your front legs. So the next time you see a rabbit in the park, in your backyard, stop. Stand very still and watch that rabbit. And without fail, that rabbit will stop. And if you will wait, he will turn his head just the slightest little bit. And if you learn to listen with your heart as well as with your ears, you will hear that rabbit say, "Be nice to everyone around you, so that way Creator can come and stretch my front legs." At least that's the way it was told to me. Thank you, guys. You're the one that needs this song. Take it with you. That one of these days, when you're having problems, think about this day and smile. These things that we can't explain sometimes, skillies. Layman's terms, a boogeyman. How many guys understand that term? How many guys understand a spook, a supernatural, anything? I want to share a personal experience. Growing up, I grew up with my granny and my Duda. Now, Duda is how we say grandpa in Cherokee. I grew up with them not because mom and dad weren't there, but because when you grew up with your grandparents, you got away with murder. Ask my little girl running around here. There's her grandma sitting right over there. Growing up with them, I learned so much. My granny, she taught me many things. She taught me how to cook. She taught me how to clean. She taught me how to sew, how to iron. She taught me all these things because she told me, she said, Choogie, you're so mean, you might not ever find a wife. So I at least want you to be able to take care of yourself. My grandpa, he taught me how to hunt. He taught me how to fish. He taught me how to plant a garden. Taught me some of the medicines to take care of my family. But the one thing that taught me were the stories and the respect for everything around me, whether it be human or otherwise. Growing up was a special time in my life. And every summer, it was even more special because Granny just let me have a cool little house. When I got up in the morning, I would rush up to the kitchen table and shovel my breakfast in. I said, Granny, I'm going swimming. I would rush out the house and get out to the road, and when I got out there, my granny would come out of the house and she said, Choogie, you be home before dark, before them Boogermans come out and get you. All right, Granny, I'm going swimming. It was daytime, I didn't care. I wasn't scared of anything. I would walk that 5 miles to the creek because there were all of my cousins, all of my friends. And sometimes we would dive into that cold spring water at 8 o'clock in the morning. But oh, what fun it was. We would stay there, swim. We'd run up to my aunt's house a little bit and we'd eat a little while. Swim and eat. That's all we did all summer. One day, I was sitting at the kitchen table at my aunt's house and she said, Choogie, aren't you supposed to be home before dark? I said, yes, I am. She said, you better hurry up. The sun just went down. So I pushed myself away from the table, grabbed one last biscuit for the road, ran out and I jumped off the porch, and when I got to the edge of the yard, it was like God reached down to turn off a big low light switch because it got dark real quick. I stood there at the edge of the yard looking down this dirt road I had to travel down, and I'd never noticed that before. You see, on this side there was a hillside and the trees hung over the road this way. And on this side there was a grove of trees and they hung over the road this way, and it made a tunnel. And as I was standing there looking down this dark tunnel, my aunt came out of the house and she said, Choogie, you better run home fast before them Boogermans come out and get you. She didn't have to say that, it was dark. I stood there looking down this tunnel and said, God, there's gotta be a Boogerman down there somewhere. But I took off running. Are we gonna switch to the underneath? But as I was walking down that dirt road, I come to realize something about myself. I wasn't as brave as I thought I was. You see, as I was walking down that dirt road, I began to remember all these stories that Granny and Duda used to tell me about all these shapeshifters of men and women turning into owls and ravens and dogs and cats, and my goodness, you know what that'll do to a child? My mind was going crazy. And so to keep my mind off of things and so I wouldn't hear all the noises out there, I started whistling. And I whistled as long as I could until I got cotton mouth and I just couldn't whistle anymore. And so I started singing and I ran out of songs. Every once in a while I would take a break. And when I would stop, all of these noises that I heard, they stopped too. I would rest for a little bit and then I would start walking again. When I stopped one time, everything seemed to change. You see, when I started walking again, all these noises that had been following me stopped, except for one, and that was behind me. Have you guys ever been walking on a gravel path or a gravel road and you can hear that gravel crunch underneath your feet? That's what I heard behind me. Oh, a cold chill went up my spine. That's gotta be a Boogerman. So I started jogging just a little bit. I got news for you guys. Boogermans can jog too. And so I started running. They can run too. I was running down that path and I could hear that Boogerman behind me. And then, some of the worst luck ever. I remember, what a time to remember something that your granny would tell you. Choogie, if you ever hear anything behind you, don't look back. Thanks, Granny. I turned around to see what was behind me. And there it was. This big old white thing coming at me down the road. You could hear it. Boogerman! I took off running, and he was right behind me. I turned around at one point to see how close he was getting. And there he was. And when I turned back around, there was a stupid rock in the middle of a dirt road. Would you imagine that? About this big, and I tripped and I fell. When I landed on the ground, I said, "Come on, legs, get up." My legs said, "We ain't going nowhere." I laid there, and I tried to think of something. And then all of a sudden I remembered, play dead, play dead. If it'll work for a charging bear, it'll work for you. And so I laid there trying to play dead, and that Boogerman come up beside me and he started walking around me. I was trying to play dead. Oh, Lord knows I was trying to play dead. But do you know how hard it is to play dead when you're crying? Tears were streaming down my face, and that Boogerman was walking around me and I could hear him. And he'd done something that just absolutely terrified me. He stepped over me. And then he got face to face with me. I knew he was face to face with me. Because have you guys ever had your eyes closed or maybe been asleep and you know someone's right there in your face? That's the weirdest feeling ever. And I knew he was there because I could feel his hot breath on the side of my neck. I didn't know what to do. And then I remember my granny telling me, she said, "Choogie, if a Boogerman ever catch you, I'm never going to see you again." So it kind of made me sad. Kind of made me mad. And so I thought to myself, all right, Choogie, if this is going to be your last time on earth, open your eyes and see what it is. And so I told myself, I said, self, myself said, huh? On the count of 3, open your eyes and see what it is. Okay. 1, 2, slower please. 2.5. Open your eyes, and when I opened my eyes, that Boogerman was bent over looking at me with eyes this big. It was a little boy in a white t-shirt riding the bicycle. He said, Choogie, are you all right? Taught me 2 things that night. 1, get home before dark. And 2, don't let your imagination get away from you. Thank you, guys.